everything's hunky-dory?
Hunky-dory.
Hunky-dory? Is that, I can say that, right? For 4.5, we're going to do a couple things. One is to understand and identify and be able to write the identity matrix, sorry. So understand and write the identity matrix, or matrices. Find the multiplicative inverse of a matrix, and use inverse matrices to solve systems of linear equations. We might have to chunk this, so we might only be able to do some of it, and then we'll finish up Monday, because it's a little time consuming. And it's Friday. Friday.
My syllabus is not terrible.
Dancing, 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 yeah. That's good stuff. Did you get is it the pumpkin spice one?
No.
The pumpkin spice is on sale.
It's gross.
Yeah. That's why it's on sale.
I don't
If people
understand
bought
why
it.
people are like, oh my god,
It's
yes.
so strong.
Because it's the season. Some people love pumpkin spice. I'm not about it.
I don't like pumpkin food.
You don't like pumpkin pie? I like pumpkin
Okay,
pie.
I like pumpkin
I
pie.
prefer sweet potato pie.
I like pecan pie.
Oh, come on. That's pure sugar, dude. Why wouldn't you like it? You might as well eat like scoops of sugar. Sugar with a spoon. But yeah, like I was a big pumpkin pie fan until I had sweet potato pie. And I'm like, oh, that's so bomb. Way better.
Blueberry pie.
I don't like
And it had like,
Blueberry pie.
and then it had like not like frosting.
And ice cream.
No, it wasn't ice cream. It was like something on top of it. It was so good. That was my favorite pie.
Real cream.
Yeah.
Cream. Cream is bomb. But it's real, not that fake.
It was bomb. And then it closed down, so I haven't had it.
Okay, it should be on your laptops right now. We're taking notes. Let's do this. Let's do this. Score. 5 points on that.
That did not sound
Okay.
It's already cracked.
Okay. Oh my. I like, yeah. Here we go. I'm like, I'm so sorry. My floor did that to me. All right. Do you guys remember back in algebra? I'm going to ask you to try to remember back to algebra 1. Huh? Oh, it was yesterday. We talked about the identity property of multiplication. You guys remember that? Like, so if I had like 3, what can I multiply 3 by so that I still get 3? It's 1, right? So that was called the identity property of multiplication. And there was also like an identity property of addition, right? Which was adding 0. But I want to kind of refer back to this identity because it's something times something gives you that original thing back. Okay? And we call multiply by 1 the identity property of multiplication. So we have that same idea when we're talking about matrices. If you're going to multiply a matrix by something, get that same matrix back, you should have some identity for it. Does that make sense? So, so that's what we're doing here. So hopefully you have a little bit of background. Touche. Hopefully you have a little bit of background. That's giving you a little bit of background on what we're looking at. So by the identity property for real numbers, oh, I already said that. So here's what the identity matrices look like. Let's start off with a simple 2 by 2. I think you have already seen that, right? We call that, look at the matrix itself inside. What did I call that format? Not row echelon. Reduced row echelon form. So this is the RREF kind of deal, isn't it? So what this is saying is, if you have a matrix with just a diagonal of 1s, everything else being 0, kind of like that reduced row echelon form, that is the identity matrix. So if I ask you for the identity matrix for a 2 by 2, it should look like this. If I ask you to write out the identity matrix for a 3 by 3, I should have 1, 0, 0. What's my next row? 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. That is the identity matrix. Simple enough? So we're safe still? Now, how does that work? How is it that I can take a reduced row echelon type matrix and multiply it by a matrix and not have it change? Because you're multiplying by 0 love, aren't you? Shouldn't that make things go away? Well, let's see here. Oh, I have to erase it by hand. You know what? I can probably just skip that. Oh, really? 21 questions? So let's give that a try. Here's a matrix. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna copy it over because I don't like working off of this too much. Are you? Yes, you are. Yeah. That is loud. No, you're fine. It's better than my. Ah! All right, cool beans. So I got this here. Actually, I think. Well, I'll do it just so that it's recorded. Let's multiply it by the identity matrix here, okay? And let's see what happens. So we've got 1, 0, 0 be multiplied by 0, 1, 0, and 0, 0, 1. Yeah? So let's go to get started. This is a 3 by 3 multiplied by a 3 by 3, which means the result needs to be a 3 by 3, obviously, right? So I'm just going to drop it over here. Let's start with row 1, column 1. That means I'm going to get row 1 multiplied by column 1. So there's negative 2, right? And what are the other two products going to be? 0, 0. So there's my negative 2. You guys see how that's working? Now for the second part, I'm going to go in this position. If I multiply 3 by 1, I'm going to get my 3, aren't I? And what am I going to get for the other two products?
0.
That means I just get my 3 right back. And of course, if I take 0 times 1, that's 0, 0, 0. So I get everything back. So it's the position of those ones that kind of make the identity matrix work. Can you see that? Okay, let's go over to the second one. I'm going to go for the second column now. Notice where the second column has my 1. In the second row. Because what I'm going to do, I thought somebody was going to say something. Because as I multiply out, the first values are going to get eliminated, right? And then I'm going to get this combo, which is 4, 0. Same thing here. 3 times 0 is 0. I'm going to get that 5 back. Because the other product would be 0. Then I've got 0, 8, 0. So I'm getting all the values back. And you can see, if I even did the other one, right? Which values are going to get eliminated? The first two values, which means it's going to produce simply the last row. So, do I need to do all the steps, or are you guys believing me now? No? Finish it?
I'm just confused.
You're confused altogether?
Yeah.
Here's all I'm saying. Here's what... Oh, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's see if we can do it this way. If I take 3 times something, which you did understand, right?
Yeah.
Didn't you? Okay, so it's 1. If I take a matrix, any size, I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And I multiply it by its identity matrix. Well, I can't just put a 1 here, can I? Because I'm going to have to do some multiplication with that row stuff, which you know how to do, correct? Okay. That identity matrix has to look like this. And that's all we're saying, really. And what we're doing is we were testing it out. So we were doing that whole multiplication, rows by columns, to see what we got. What we ended up getting was that. Okay? So guess what we're saying here is, if you multiply a matrix by the identity matrix, you'll get the original matrix back. Okay? All right, cool. Anybody else confused? The only point was that. Understand the identity matrix. All right, let us continue, because it's going to get interesting now. From current slide.
Great.
Huh?
Great.
I know, thanks for the enthusiasm. It's awesome. Muddy Buddies, I got some yesterday. Here we go. So yeah, if you do the multiplication, notice you are going to get the original matrix back. That's what they're saying here. So now, find the multiplicative inverse. You guys remember the multiplicative inverse? If I have something like 3 and I want to get back to 1, what do I multiply by? 1/3, right? So I would do that bit. So 3 times 1/3 would get me back to 1. That is the multiplicative inverse. Okay, not the reciprocal, a multiplicative inverse.
Isn't it the same thing?
They have the little nuances. But yeah, we usually refer to them the same way. But they're a little bit different, okay? So multiplicative inverse. We okay with the idea of the multiplicative inverse?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we want to do is we want to say, all right, let's say I did have a matrix, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I wanted to get back to 1, aka identity matrix, the identity. So if I wanted to get to this, well, that's not what I wanted. There has to exist, if this is matrix A, there has to be some matrix inverse. Okay? And yes, that's the notation for inverse, a to the negative 1. Please write that down. If I have like a to the negative 1, that means the inverse. I think you guys have seen your scientific calculators, right? It has sine, cosine, tangent, and then right above it, it goes sine to the negative 1. That means inverse. It's not sine, but the inverse of that. Okay? So here's the task. You gonna be all right, Steve? Okay. That we find what this inverse matrix looks like. Okay?
Oh, right now?
Yeah, and we're going to do that with row operations. No, not right now. And we're going to do that with row operations. Okay? Now, so that nobody gets confused, I'm going to tell you what the big idea is, okay? How it's going to happen. Because the idea of it is not difficult. Let me clear this. Why did I clear? Really? Oops. It's gonna ask me if I want to. All right, here we go. All right, here we go. Camera. Okay, using that matrix, here's what we're going to do. We're going to create some augmented matrix, and it's going to look like this. Here's 1, 0, 1, 2, negative 2, 1, 3, 0, 0. Okay, I'm going to augment this. And I'm going to augment it with 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. What did I put on the right side of that? What did I do? The identity matrix, right? Everyone cool? Not difficult, right? Okay. Here's how you get this is A. That's the identity matrix. Here's what we want to do. I can make that a little bit smaller, just so I can fit what I want to do in here. Here's what I want to do. I want to use row operations so that it looks like this. What I want to do is make it so that this identity matrix shows up on this side. Whatever is here at the end is going to be your inverse matrix. So all you're really trying to do is kind of swap the identity matrix from being on the left to being on the right. Does everyone understand that idea? I want the right side to be the identity matrix using row operations.
What you're trying to do, but how do you do it?
Row operations.
Do it again.
All right, here, let's do this then. Okay. I'm going to try to keep it clean with the, and this one's actually a good example, so I'm going to just follow this one because it's also nicer to read. Okay? If at any point you do get confused, please let me know and I'll stop and I'll explain that to you, okay? So here's what we have. We start off with the original matrix, and then we have the identity on the right side, right? So that's your first step, is to write the augmented matrix. Since here we already have a 1, do we really need to try to change that to a 1?
No.
No, we're good to go, right? But remember, all those rules that we had, which were swapping rows, multiply and adding, are the only rules we have. So they still apply, okay? So here's what we're going to do on the first one. I'm going to try to make this bad boy a 0. And you guys remember how we did that? We took row 1, we multiplied by -2, and then we added to this row. Okay, so here's the operation. Did everybody see that? And that's what it became here. Everyone okay with that operation? Cool. Then we make this a 0. Or no, it's no?
He said
Just
no.
keep going.
Keep going?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was following you.
Okay, because I don't know, it was like
Josh said no.
nervous laughter kind of thing or something. Are you okay?
Josh said no.
Yeah,
You're
no,
like,
it
you're
sounds
really
like
good.
you're good.
We're good? Okay. So it's the same as before, right? Now we're trying to get this 3 to become a 0. Here's what we did. We took row 1, we multiplied it by a -3, and then we added it here. Same as we've been doing. So now we've got that 1, 0, 0 going on, right? Lucky for us, there's already a 0 there. Let me ask you, what would have been the next step here? Make this a 1. How?
Multiply it by -1/2.
Multiply by -1/2, right? Just like we used to do before. So nothing's changing here, guys. So there's our 1/2. So we multiply the whole thing, there becomes a 1. Lucky for us, that's already a 0. Okay? And then we need to get this to be a 1 as well.
What's already a 1? Oh, never mind.
No, it was a 3.
Next,
Okay, so how do we do that?
you multiply it by -1/3.
Right. And there it is. So that becomes a 1 once we do it.
Why?
You lost.
Everyone following us? I've lost
In a
you?
little while.
You remember how we used to do REF? That's all we did. To this side. That's all that happened. Right?
So wait, how does the, okay, when that's all done and like all perfect, you know, how does it get on that side?
Well, remember these operations, we're doing them to all of them, right?
Oh, the whole row?
Yeah, we don't just do it here. We have to go all the way across.
Oh.
Here, let me go back to the beginning here. So when we started with this, let's see here. How did we make this a 0? We multiplied row 1 by -1 and we added it to row, no, sorry, not -1. -2, right? -2 and we added it to row 2. So the numbers are -2, 0, -2, -2, 0, 0.
Oh my god.
Right? And then we add them all. So now this becomes a 0. I'll put them right under there so you can see. 0, -2 and 0, 0. 1 and -2 is a -1. -2 plus 0 is -2. 1 plus 0 is 0, and 0 plus 0 is 0. So there was our new row, wasn't it? You're just going all the way across.
So how is the second one 0?
Did I mess it up?
Yeah.
1 plus 0 is 0.
Are these numbers correct? Multiply this by -2. -2, 0, -2, -2, 0. Yeah. Okay. So now 2 minus 2 is 0, right? Oh, thank you. Thank you. So -2 minus 0 is still -2. That's what you're saying? And then, okay, good. Yeah, I got a mistake, man. Come on.
I thought you were like multiplying.
No, my bad. No, I just. Math problem. So this is what became the new row. See? Well, that's a 3 though. Why did I mess that up too?
Because it's -2 minus 1.
No, because we're combining them.
Oh.
-2 plus -1 is -3.
What was the original number? Where'd it go?
This is a sign you should do it.
1. That's a negative 2, right? That's negative 1?
How would it be negative?
How would it be negative 3 right there?
But that doesn't make sense.
Negative 2.
That's the only
My hair's gonna get stiff on it.
Did I do the math wrong?
I don't know what you did. Dude, you lost me out. Step 1.
No, you already know how to do this, so you need to think back. Because we did raw operations and you guys were all good, right? So don't come like you lost me, I don't know how to do any of this, because that's bull. You know how to do some of this. What I'm trying to do, here's my task, is to make that 2 a 0.
I get what you're trying to do.
So all I said is check my work, because something must have gone wrong. To make that a 0, I'm going to take row 1, multiply by negative 2, and then add it to row 2. So the new numbers that I'm going to add to this should be negative 2, 0, negative 2, 1, 0, no,
No, negative.
negative 2, 0, 0, correct? So I'm seeing a disconnect once I'm adding them. That's 0, good, that's what I needed. That's a negative 2, 1 plus a negative 2 is actually a negative 1. But on the other slide, it shows up as a,
Negative 3.
so I'm thinking they're wrong.
They suck.
I want to see if they even got the right answer. Where's it at? All right, here's what I'm going to do. Here's how I'm going to check it. You guys, yeah. No, yeah, that's how I would do it.
You need a calculator?
No, I have one up here. I want everybody to see. Yeah, just because something becomes difficult, don't like shut it out. That's like the worst thing you could do, because then you're just blocked and you see nothing. Don't do that to yourselves. All right, let's get this matrix in here real quick.
Let's go step by step. How do you do it? What do you click? Clear?
Yeah, I just cleared.
Okay, so what did you do?
Let's see here. It's a 3 by 3. I'm gonna have to change this. 3 by 3. Enter. Did somebody write down the numbers?
It's
Let's go back to the original matrix.
1, 0, 1.
You have it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. Hold on. Let me bring this up. What is it?
1,
1
0, 1.
across.
Yeah.
1 0
1,
1
2,
2
negative 2,
negative 2.
1.
Oh, wrong. Hold on. Thank you.
Negative.
That's what somebody tried to say there. Negative 2
1,
1
and then 3,
3
0.
0 0. That's it right there?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Second, quit. Second, matrix. I want A to the negative 1.
You just raise it to the negative 1?
Yeah.
How should I got that too?
I just want to compare this to what they have on the.
So that was the answer?
That's the inverse matrix. Yeah.
1 0
0 0 and 1/3. 0 0 1/3.
They're wrong.
They're wrong. No, it's not. Never mind.
Yeah, it is.
Negative
the
half?
first one is the first one's a positive.
Negative half, negative half.
Okay. So it wasn't me. It was them. It looked good. I apologize. When I looked at the example, it looked like really, really simple. So they are wrong. That one should be a negative half.
No.
No,
Yeah.
negative
Negative, negative, right?
Yeah.
According to them, it should be a negative. Sorry.
Oh.
And then that's a positive half. And they don't have that, do they?
2.
All right, cool. So let's just do it ourselves. All right. Just when I started to trust the slides. That's what happens when you slip, right? Huh?
Why would you trust that?
Because they're supposed to be
Smart.
They're supposed to be correct. They're supposed to be correct. That's all. Okay? Alright, so let's do this let's just do it by hand, I guess. 0. Alright, cool. Let's see if we can do it right. Okay? Now, like I said, did I not say that? It's still easy work, it's just going to become a lot more, which is going to become a little bit more annoying. But that's it. Okay? So if this is all we get through today, I'm fine with it. Then that's kind of what the plan. Okay, because I don't want you to do any more. And yes, please use that thing to check your work. Okay? Please use it. Yeah, please use it. All right, let's see here. Let's start over. We're going to take row 1, multiply by -2, and add it to row 2. Those new values, -2, 0, -2, -2, 0, 0. So this row doesn't change. Okay. And then we've got 0, -2. I'm being really careful now. -1, -2, 1, 0, and then this one doesn't change. All right, cool. Okay. Now we want this to be a 0. So we're going to have to take row 1 multiplied by -3 and add that to row 3. Okay. So what are the new numbers? I'll use green this time. It's going to be -3, 0, -3, -3, 0, 0, right? All right, so 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, -2, -1, -2, 1, 0. First opens tonight. Side note.
What?
Stay fair. Opening day tonight.
Are you going?
Probably on like one of the Saturdays or something, where you get in before midday and you pay like $1, or you pay like a blood sample or something like that.
What?
0. 0 plus 0 is 0. -3. -3. 0, 1. Check that, please. Okay. I want that to become a 1. So I'm going to take row 2 and I'm going to multiply it by -1/2. Okay.
That's the same set?
With the change made, with the last change made already. So this is the most recent one. This is where we're at.
Okay.
Okay? So 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. Let's see, half of the middle row is 0, 1, 1/2, 1, 1/2, 0. And the last one doesn't change, so it's 0, 0, -3, -3, 0, 1. Okay?
So good. So now you gotta use
Now I gotta get the -3 to be a 1. Okay? So, how do I get that to be a 1? Take row 3, multiplied by -1/3. So row 1 doesn't change. 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1/2, 1, 1/2, 0. Okay, half of 0, or sorry, a third of 0, a third of 0, 1, 1, 0, -1/3. Yeah, so now I'm gonna kind of do what I did here. but backwards because I'm going upward now. Because I need that to be a 0, that to be a 0, don't I? So I'm going to take row 3. I'm going to multiply it by a negative 1/2 and add it to row 2. Because this way, when I multiply by 0 and I add it up, I'm not adding anything, so it doesn't change those numbers, except for where I wanted to make a change. That makes sense? Okay, so, what's half of 0? 0, a negative half of 0 again is 0. Then I've got a negative 1/2, a negative 1/2, 0, and then what is that? 1/6? Correct? All right, cool. Let's add them. One, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0. All right, 0 plus 0 is 0. 1 plus 0 is 1. 1/2 minus a half is 0. 1 plus a half. Is that negative half? Yeah. So 1 minus a half is a half. Where are we at? Half? Yeah, so half minus a half is 0. And then 0. No, that's wrong.
No, it's not. It's a half.
Here's at 0.
Whoa.
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it should be 0. This should just be a half then. That should stay a half. And then finally, 1/6. Right? Man. Okay. And then my last row doesn't change, so 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, negative 1/3. Last one. Need that to be a 0. So all I really have to do is add the opposite of this, don't I? To that top one. So let's see here. The opposite of 0 to 1, still going to be 1. That's still going to be 0. Then that's negative 1 now, so it's going to be a 0, 0, 0, and and then 1/3. Check my work. Looks great, but is it right? I know how to check it real quick.
Yeah.
0, 0, 1/3. Good. Good, good, good. All right, let's go. Now the other ones don't change, so
Wait, Marius, what'd you do?
I took the opposite of this because I want, here, let me tell you why. This needs to be a 0, this 1. So I took this row, multiplied by negative 1, and then I added it to the top one.
So you negative R3.
Yeah, so I took row 3, multiplied it by negative 1, and then added it to row 1. Okay? Thank you. I should have written it down. That's not very nice of me. Now everything else should just be the same. So 0, 1, 0, 1/2, 1/2, 1/6, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, negative 1/3. That is my inverse matrix. Does it match with what we had in the calculator? Tell me it did. Where? This one?
Yeah.
I missed the negative? It had to be... there it is. You know what? And you know what? I think isn't that a negative also? No. All right. So I just missed the negative somewhere. That's still a positive half. That wasn't changed yet. Was it here then?
The negative the third time. No.
Yeah. Here we combined a 0, so it was even before that then. So it's here.
Yeah.
1 plus a negative. It's a positive half.
Yeah. Calculator.
No, the calculator's not wrong. I did something. Okay. So I missed a negative somewhere. So that's my fault. Okay.
That's what I got.
No,
No.
I had a
You
positive
added
half
it.
there. I just added that.
You moved it.
Well, mine's still more accurate than theirs. So. Okay. So just be very careful. It's just more work. I think that's what I said. It is. But when we meet Monday, we'll talk about how to do that. So. Okay. All right. So there's the work.
That was fun.
Very fun.
Okay, I don't think you guys are ready for this,
No.
and not even in the mood for this.
No.
So
Good day.
Good day. Good night.
let me stop this,
So funny.
and then I'll put up a